So this video is inspired by a news article that I read a couple of weeks ago, and the title of the article was something along the lines of crime fiction cliches. And it did get me thinking. I did read the article, but it was more based around like movies and TV series, which I don't tend to watch much of those. But I do read quite a bit of crime fiction. And one of the first one that springs to mind is The Famous Detective. Now, it's not necessarily somebody who's an official detective. They don't perhaps work for the police force. It might be somebody who's like a keen amateur, but seems to always solve the crime every single time. Now, you've got people like Poirot, Agatha Raisin, Aurora Teagarden, and there's many more. So some, such as Eve Dallas, do actually work for the official police department, so they are proper detectives. And some people are just people who happen to stumble across a crime one day and then suddenly they can't escape from dead bodies just flinging themselves at them right, left and centre. The one thing that they will all have in common is that they will be a household name. Everybody will know who they are. Even if you're not a true crime buff or part of the investigation that's the subject of that particular book, you will still know who this person is because this person is a household name. Everybody knows them. And yet outside of the world of fiction, I don't know anybody who knows any detective. I mean, obviously there'd be exceptions if you're related to one, or you've got them in your family, or you happen to be going out with somebody, or maybe you even went to school with someone who went on to become a detective, or even just a member of the police force. But in general, you don't know detectives that you aren't related to or you didn't have a personal relationship with before. And yet in these books, they're always known by everybody. And everybody knows that this person will be the one person in the entire world who can solve this crime. Now, I am aware that there are some people who are really into true crime, so they may well know the lead detective on a high-profile case. But for most of us, we don't tend to know the names of lots of detectives. There isn't really such a thing as a famous detective. Which kind of makes me wonder how the whole thing got started. Was it just because one person wrote a book and that was popular that then everybody else jumped on the bandwagon? But that said, although I do think they are a bit of a cliche, I am still a massive fan of crime fiction. So the fact that I don't actually know any famous detectives in real life will not stop me from reading crime fiction.